Today we're going to be talking about the use of percussion in early childhood music therapy. As we all know, percussion instruments are used in early childhood because of their accessibility and their easy use for instrumental exploration. The question is, how do we translate this into therapeutic outcomes? So let's discuss that. We're going to frame our process today using something called Kalani Percussion Actions and Skills, or KPAS. KPAS was created by music therapy colleague Kalani Das and inspired by the work of Rudolf Laban, a dance movement theorist who created the Laban effort actions. KPAS provides us with a way to think about the techniques we use, or more simply put, the movements we use when we play percussion instruments. KPAS can be divided into two separate areas, those being actions and skills. Let's begin with the percussion actions. So, before this begins to sound overly theoretical and detached from our actual work, let's look at this from an instrumental standpoint. I've got my handy-dandy lollipop drum, I've got my mallet with me, and I might take this into an early childhood classroom to play. I might model to begin, or I might allow the students to explore and play. Chances are, regardless, we're going to begin with something loud, right? We're going to strike. But let's say that's not where I want to begin for some particular reason. Where do I go from there? This is where the percussion actions can come in handy. Instead of striking the drum, perhaps I want to bring the force down and therefore the volume down, and I'd rather tap the drum a little bit. Or perhaps we want to make a smoother sound, such as a brush or rub on the drum with the mallet. We can see that the percussion actions can work across the board for almost all instrumentation, whether it be the brush rub of a kabasa, or the shake of a kabasa, or the tap of a kabasa, the scrape on a wiro, the caress on an ocean drum or shaker, the shaking of a rattle, maraca, egg shaker, and so on. So what do the percussion actions, there in the yellow, give us? They give us a vocabulary of ways to play. Those ways might be traditional and common to the instrument, or they might be creative and experimental to the instrument. The vocabulary allows you to go either way. So the percussion action vocabulary just by itself can help me to model, to prompt, to compose a song with which I expect specific musical tasks, perhaps in a sequence. I have all sorts of options to work with there. For example, I have my kabasa here. Tap, tap the kabasa. Now shake, shake the kabasa. Now brush, brush the kabasa. La 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 la. Brush the kabasa on your arm. Tap the kabasa on your hand. Shake the kabasa in the air. La 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 la. As you can see on this chart, we have more than just the actions. We also have three components to every action, those being the path, the duration, and the force of each action. These three components of percussion actions, the pathway of movement, the exertion of force, and the duration of contact, give us a way to dig in a little bit and think about how we're going to shape the music experience in terms of movement and technique. For example, regardless of whether we use gentle or strong force, both are using different types of control, which are developmentally important. Same can be said for different durations and pathways. And these actions and their components are not just related to motor skills. We can think about other domains as well. The sensory considerations of a press on a conga drum, or the brush of a kabasa on an arm. We can think about the cognitive components of impulse control while playing an instrument. We can think about the emotional expressivity of a large strike on an instrument, or a soft brush rub, and what those might entail. So with that introduction, let's move away from the percussion actions and toward the percussion skills. Percussion skills can be broken down into areas, motions, and relationships. What is perhaps most important in relation to the percussion skills in early childhood is that each of these areas have developmental levels. General skills are going to be more likely to be used for gross motor movement, whereas the zone skills and digital skills move into fine motor movement. Parallel play is considered developmentally before alternating play. Similarly, and generally speaking, a technique that uses a match skill is easier than one that uses a mixed skill. A match skill is one where the percussion action and the hold are the same in both hands. So for example, playing a conga with both hands in the same fashion would be a matched skill. A mixed skill, for example, would be the playing of a kabasa, where in one hand you have the hold, and the other one you have the ability to brush. A drum that uses a mixed skill would be a doumbek, or a frame drum. So, with our percussion skills in mind, and our percussion actions in mind, we've taken an overview of K-Pass. My hope is that this information is useful in your work in early childhood. Thank you for listening, and happy drumming.